Welcome back friends in another tutorial video. In today's video we would complete the remaining portion of the poem. So let's begin it. I am just completing it over here, and a few portion was just left from the from stanza number 7. So let's begin. The same that often times hath charmed magic casements opening on the foam of perilous seas in fairy lands forlorn. The same that often times hath charmed magic casements opening on the foam of perilous seas in fairy lands forlorn. Several interpretations have come in terms of explanation of these lines here. The poet perhaps wants to say that it's the same song of the nightingale that used to console the heart of the princess that was who was charmed or who was captivated in some castles by the side of the seas. Because of some stately issues, this princess might have been captivated by the opponent group of people, and being in this captivity, the princess used to get enthusiasm to go through this terrible phase of life by only listening to the song of the nightingale. So the same song of the nightingale used to console the heart of a princess who was captivated by some group of people once. Another interpretation could be that some mariners who used to travel on the seas, the perilous sea, and the sea which is full of so many perils and dangers, and these mariners, while having a voyage on the sea, they used to get some ray of hope, some joy, some sort of joy and happiness in the song of the nightingale. So the same song of the nightingale used to strengthen the heart of the mariners who quite often used to travel by the perilous seas in fairy lands forlorn. So that could be the interpretation of the remaining lines of stanza number 7. Though it has not yet been said anywhere clearly, we can only talk of some assumption here. And in fairy lands not necessarily mean the lands where the fairies live. It could mean or refer to the legendary lands or some lands of farther distance. Anyways, moving on to the final stanza, that is stanza number 8. Forlorn, the very word is like a bell to tell me back from thee to my soul self. This stanza number 8 is very important. Here we would find a transition of mood in the poet, and in this stanza only the poet makes himself free from the charge of escapism. As we have said that being dissatisfied with the problems, sufferings and miseries of this world, the poet wants to go to the world of the nightingale. But here we would find a transition in his mood, that he would say that he don't want to go to the world of the nightingale being led by fancy or imagination, because he knows that it's not practical to go to the world of the nightingale by leaving this world. So the charge of he gets rid of the charge of escapism. Anyways, let's begin. Forlorn, the very word is like a bell to tell me back from thee to my soul self. The word forlorn can be interpreted as the sense of loneliness. Soon the poet realized that he is alone that is, he is not with the nightingale. He has not got the company of the nightingale. The nightingale is not with him. He is alone. He is alone. So the poet soon realizes that he is all alone. He is not in the company of the nightingale. So these words, he found these words like that of a bell. As a bell, whenever we just sleep or we just get lost in a sort of deep thought or contemplation, then a bell actually breaks our unconsciousness or subconsciousness. Then we just get back to our consciousness. So here the word forlorn, that he is not in the company of the nightingale, this very realization helps him to get back to the world, to get back to his own world. So the word forlorn is like a bell, makes him realize to tell me back from thee to my soul self. That means the word forlorn helps the poet to come back into his own self, to come back into this world of reality, from the world of fancy and imagination. And you, the fancy, cannot cheat so well. The poet is saying that, O imagination, O fancy, goodbye to you. Adieu means to bid goodbye or to bid farewell to someone. Here the poet is saying goodbye to fancy, by which just a short while ago the poet was led so heavily. The poet is saying that the state of fancy can cheat one so well, yet it's not so effective as it is believed to be, because the poet has succeeded in getting back to his original soul or original idea, or to the world of originality or reality. Here two worlds have been portrayed side by side, the world of fancy, that is unreal, and the world of reality, into which the poet lives or dwells. Here you need to understand this properly, otherwise you will get more confused. So two worlds have been projected here side by side, the world of fancy or world of unreality, the unreal world, and the world of originality or reality, into which the poet lives, to which the poet belongs. So here the poet has realized that though he wants to follow the world of the nightingale, though he wants to go to the world of the nightingale led by fancy, his power of imagination, but soon he realizes that no, he is not in the company of the nightingale. He is all alone. It was all his fancy. So then he decided to go back to his original world and to leave the idea, and it led him to leave the idea of escaping this world. So since he has realized that what fancy was doing to him, he said that goodbye to fancy. He is saying goodbye to fancy. That means he is saying goodbye to the world of fancy. He is bidding farewell to the world of fancy, and furthermore he has described fancy as a deceiving elf. Deceiving elf means here elf can be taken as any being that could be a fairy also, or a magician that can cast black magic and that can lead one to go to his own world, leaving the original world. So here the poet has described, or is describing, fancy as someone who is deceiving, as the poet is saying that he has been deceived by his by fancy. So that's why he is again saying that adieu, adieu. So it's to be noted here that the term adieu, the phrase, the word adieu has been used here for 3 times. Thy plaintive anthem fades. So now the song of the nightingale. So now the nightingale song is getting fade. Where thy plaintive anthem fades past the near meadows. The song of the nightingale is getting fade into the world of the meadows, into the near meadows, over the still stream up the hillside, and now it's buried deep in the next valley glades. That means, since the poet has said goodbye to the world of fancy, the world of nightingale, so since he is getting back to his original world, he finds that the song of the nightingale is getting fade into the into the meadows, nearby meadows. Then it's getting fade into the hillside, and now it's buried deep in the next valley glades. That means, since the poet is now ignoring the call of fancy, that's why he is finding the song of the nightingale, he is finding the anthem to get lost into the world of into the near meadows, neighboring meadows, then into the hillsides, and then buried deep in the next valley glades. That means, in short, the song of the nightingale, that means the call of fancy, in short, is getting lost. Was it a vision or a waking dream? Was it a vision or a waking dream? Fled is that music, do I wake or sleep? So here we find a sharp transition in his mood. In the earlier stanzas, we have seen that the poet was so desperate to go to the world of the nightingale, but now we find that the poet is ignoring or avoiding the call of fancy, and he wants to stay in his own world. So it shows his swing of mood in this poem, and that is also important in this poem. And by saying this, the poet is getting rid of the charge of escapism. That means we cannot say that we can't say that the poet John Keats is an escapist here, though his initial attitude was like that of an escapist, but now he is saying goodbye to the call of fancy, and he is staying in this world of originality. So the charge of escapism cannot be labeled on him anymore. So here the poet is saying that, was it a vision or a waking dream? Now the poet is saying that since he has gone back to the state of consciousness, since he is free from the charm of fancy now, the impact of fancy, so the poet is saying that whatever has happened to me, whatever has occurred to me till now, was it a vision or a waking dream? That means whatever had happened till now, was it really something that I have witnessed with my eyes, or was I just having a dream, even being awakened? That means, was it a dream that I had gone through, or was it a vision that I have witnessed? Anyways, fled is that music. Anyways, the music that had an impact on me, this music is not here anymore. It has fled away. Do I wake or sleep? The poet is again saying that. So, was it a reality, or was I in the midst of deep sleep that I had such an impact of fancy. So this is the poem all about, dear friends. I hope that you would find this video quite helpful. So let's meet on the in another tutorial video, into which I would talk about the important questions, probable descriptive and important questions, MCQ questions from this poem. If you have any doubt, anything to say, then the comment section is open. You can write it down over there. Thank you so much. Please subscribe the channel and share with your friends.